Qantas and the Engineers Union are back in negotiations today. They're thrashing out their increasingly bitter dispute before Fair Work Australia. 500 flights have been cancelled and there'll be more industrial action next week from ground crews and catering staff. But some say enough's enough and the government should now intervene. Online ticket seller Webjet warns the dispute could be cataclysmic for the travel industry if the Prime Minister fails to act. And Flight Centre boss Graham Turner has also weighed in, saying the government needs to do something.
Well, I think it is quite serious. I mean, a lot of it is just lack of availability in the domestic airfares. You know, it's very hard to get flights, particularly between the major cities, particularly at a reasonable rate. So it's going to affect, it is affecting particularly the tourist market. Obviously the business travellers are still travelling, but certainly if they can book at least a week or so ahead. But I think it has serious ramifications and it's going to get worse.
How much is it costing you, Flight Centre?
Well, it's mainly costing us in the lack of availability in seats when people want them. There is a fair bit of a change, but we're used to that. We're largely a bricks and mortar travel agency chain, so it's not like the online players who probably have a bigger issue with that. It's really just the lack of seats that is a worry, and the prices for our customers.
But are you now avoiding booking passengers on Qantas because of potential problems?
Well, it depends on the availability. No, we're happy to book Qantas as long as there's availability and the prices are a good value.
Are you calling for government intervention in this, and if so, what can they do?
Well, I think they should. I don't know the details of the legislation, but I think this is sufficiently serious, particularly the ramifications here for the local tourist market, which is already on its knees, could actually devastate what is an industry that's really struggling, particularly in Queensland, and particularly since the floods here.
In this dispute, who is right and who is wrong as far as you're concerned? Are unions asking for too much, or is Qantas just being too inflexible?
Look, I think obviously there will be both sides to this argument, but I think the problem that I see is the unions actually want to run or have a say in running the airline, and obviously that's unacceptable to any business, so I feel some sympathy for Qantas here.
Do you support Qantas in their wish to make unions toe the line?
Well, it's not a matter of towing the line, but Qantas management's got to run the company, not the unions, of course. And if the unions, for sure, I think they're negotiating fair rates of pay, that's fair enough, but not running the company.
And at what point, how long will it take before really it reaches crunch point for you?
Well, I think it's already there for the tourist industry in Australia, and particularly Queensland, and I think the government does need to do something about it. That's what we elect them for.
Graham Turner, thank you.
Thank you, Roz.